nikasikia kwamba ati yule mtu ambaye alikuwa unaungua ni mwili ya Dr. Robert Ouko.
Dr. Ouko had some injury to his chest.
Sisi naye tulikuwa wanne. Hasa inspector akawauliza kwamba iko nini? Ati tumepata body ingine hapa.
We were lucky only in the sense that Scotland Yard was involved.
I even remember cautioning him, telling him, be careful where you eat or what you eat.
They wanted to hide the evidence of a firearms room to this region.
That when these people murdered my brother, they left the lamp burning.
By the time Dr. John Robert Ouko was being laid to rest, the country had become ungovernable. University students were engaging police in running battles as civil societies were demanding for nothing less than the prosecution of Ouko's killers. The Kanu regime was caught between a murder and politics. The government of the day had to look for something. Tonight on Case Files, Troon's diary. On the night of February 12, 1990, Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. John Robert Ouko was reported missing from his Koru home in Kisumu. His charred remains were discovered 2 days later, 7 kilometers away from his home on the hills of Gotalila. The hills ran into the Sondu River that separated Kericho and Kisumu counties. It was Koru that the Scotland Yard team visited days after the autopsy on Robert Ouko's remains. Troon's team had made a conclusion that the soft-spoken minister had not committed suicide, as the government wanted the public to believe, but he had been brutally murdered. In fact, it's marked of a brazen political assassination.
I saw Colenso a day or so later and said, look, I need what you want me to do, because if you want us to investigate this, or I help you to investigate it, we'll investigate the murder investigation. No, he said, it's a suicide. Well, I said, well, if you don't give me any terms of reference, I shall be leaving the country within the next 48 hours.
John Troon, the lead investigator, told Case Files they first had to establish their terms of reference.
Didn't accept the original ones they gave me, so I wrote my own terms of reference, which I still have, and the commissioner reluctantly, and Oyugi, accepted them. So that gave me control of the investigation, reporting to the commissioner. I had to report to somebody, of course, so I had to be the commissioner. He wanted me to report to the local police officer down in Kisumu, and I said no, because he was involved in the investigation, and quite frankly, he hadn't made a good job of it, and it was covered things up. I said no, the only person I could really report to is the commissioner himself, which I did.
A team of 60 police officers was placed under him. Troon was to oversee a complex homicide investigation that had heavy political undertones.
And Ian West, a very, very experienced and well-known forensic pathologist, and I've done many, many murder investigations with him. He found evidence, of course, which is history now, he found evidence there that either Kavisi missed, or I suspect he didn't really miss, but he didn't want to disclose it because he's under duress not to do so.
John Troon says from the onset, there was a lukewarm reception from senior police officers and top government officials. Troon's first visit to what he believes was the scene of Ouko's murder revealed disturbing and painful final moments for the Foreign Affairs Minister.
It was obvious the scene had been set up, there's no doubt about that, and later on the evidence suggests quite strongly that it was set up. by the Kenyan police officers involved in the case at that time to make it look as if it was suicide. I had to rely on Kenyan officers helping me, of which a certain percentage of them were corrupt. There were special branch officers and they were not helping me, not helping the Kenyans people. They knew that he was murdered and they were obstructing me all the way through.
Troon told case files the fact that Ouko was shot dead at the scene where his body was discovered suggested that the minister was either picked up by people he knew or individuals who posed as his colleagues turned abductors.
Dr. Ouko was taken from his bedroom or his study out into the yard, and he struggled. He realised what was going on. He struggled, tried to run away, and he twisted it and broken his ankle. And he was struggling, and someone shot him, panicked and shot him in this region here, which was not fatal at that time. But it was obviously, he was going to die from it, no doubt about it, but it may have taken an hour or 15 minutes to die. So they panicked. They were going to take him to Nakoro, I believe, but they couldn't do that because the man was, so they took him down 7 kilometres away to Gotalia and knelt him down. He was still alive, and they just murdered him there and then.
Ouko was shot while in a kneeling position. Dried blood running down the sides of his eyes indicated that after being shot, he fell on the weight of his body, but it was later moved and placed in a lying position.
Which was obviously it was, and it's gone straight through, and the bullet went through, nipped the trees, and we found that, but we couldn't find the bullet itself. It was like looking for something, a needle in a haystack. But we found evidence of the trajectory, and we, by virtue of that, we concluded that Ouko was kneeling down with his head slightly bent forward when he was shot through the head.
Ouko's killers used a powerful firearm to cut his life short, a painful twist of events. Who are these people? Who are they that made the minister wake up, change his clothes, open his bedroom door, his main door, and later meet them? Dr. Robert Ouko's housemaid, 52-year-old Selina Were, told investigators she had heard and seen things on the night the minister disappeared. Selina was the last person to see the Foreign Affairs Minister live moments he went missing. Selina said that unlike most times, that night Ouko disappeared, there was no electricity. Selina told police investigators that Ouko had 4 visitors who left at around 10 p.m. Ouko retired for the night and Selina locked the main door. But before locking the kitchen door, the minister called her and asked her for the keys to the 2 main gates, the lower and the upper gate. Philip Rodi, a worker on Ouko's farm, told investigators he was the one who gave Selina the keys to the 2 gates that night. At around 3 a.m. that morning, Selina said she was awoken by a loud bang coming from the minister's house. She woke up and saw a vehicle with a white roof turn quickly and exit. Selina says she went back to sleep.
He did an experiment there with at the Koru farm concerning an alleged firearms discharge at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We did an experiment which gave us some indication that the noise that the maid heard was not the door slamming, as she thought originally it was, but a firearm that was discharged.
Indeed, in her statement, Selina told police investigators that the sound she heard that morning was that of a firearm, just like the one she heard when Troon and his team conducted a firearm test shooting in Ouko's compound. But Philip Rodi, who says he had a wristwatch with him that night, says he was awoken by Rasta Zolang, a fellow farm worker, who told him the minister was calling on him. Rodi left his house, met the minister in a store where they kept poultry. According to Rodi, the minister wanted the key to the store and later asked him to go back to sleep. Another farmhand told investigators that indeed he saw a motor vehicle in Ouko's compound the night he disappeared. Indeed, after inquiring from Philip Rodi the following morning, Rodi told him he had left one of the gates into the homestead open. Strangely, while the workers heard the sound of a firearm and a car speeding off, Rodi told the police he did not see or hear any sound. What was the minister doing up so late? Why did the minister decide to visit his poultry in the dead of the night? And why was he asking for a key to the store at 2 a.m. in the morning? All the farm workers who claimed to have seen the minister that night told investigators he was wearing gumboots and had his firearm around his waist. There were no lights on the farm that night, so it's not clear how they managed to identify all the items the minister had on him. It appears the minister was waiting for people he knew. Selina said the following morning, she noticed the bedroom door was slightly open when she went to inform the minister that his breakfast was ready. Selina told the London team that the minister was a meticulous planner. If he was planning to travel, he will task Selina to wake up an hour or so before. Ouko also loved reading before retiring to bed. That night, the minister read a book but did not tell Selina that he had plans of traveling during the night. The minister was the following day meant to catch a flight from Kisumu to Nairobi and later one for an official visit to the Gambia. Selina said the minister's bed appeared disturbed and pajamas he had worn were on the bed, perhaps implying that the minister had the time to change from his nightwear to other attire before his visitors or abductors came for him. At the scene of the murder, investigators discovered several things. The minister was wearing shoes, had a walking stick, a wristwatch, a gun, 3 bullets in his jacket and a pen. The minister had also carried with him his flashlight. Did the minister realize that those who came for him had not come to visit, but to have him abducted? There was a deliberate scheme to portray the Foreign Affairs Minister as a troubled man. The state looked for witnesses who claimed they had seen the Foreign Affairs Minister either driving in the night or fueling his car in some petrol station in Kericho. This was days before the minister was killed.